Let me fix myself.
Keep messing with your hair, and like this dry air is gonna make it like
It's
out.
staticky, crazy. Okay, I'm ready. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So your staticky hair is gonna be the intro to our video.
I am fine.
Woohoo!
I keep it real.
So this is Ryan Van Dale, and we have Lindsay Olvera here. We're with the Van Dale Group, brokered by eXp Realty, and we're hopping on this Zoom today to discuss something that's been coming up quite often lately. And I know that we can't be the only people that are running into this. Not necessarily an issue, just a little bit of like misunderstanding that we thought it would be good to shed some light on with our clients and general public in the Quad Cities and beyond, whoever's watching this. So what's been happening is we've been like pretty much killing it with advertising lately, but we've noticed that we're not the only ones that are doing that. So our clients are clicking on multiple ads and getting contacted by multiple different agents, and some with our brokerage and some outside of the brokerage. And it gets especially confusing when we meet with somebody and we've been, looking at homes, we've got agencies signed with them, and then all of a sudden they start telling us that they're looking at houses with somebody else too. That's not on our team, but happens to be with EXP.
Same brokerage, different team.
Yes. And because of that, it's almost like they feel like we're do you remember Saturn, that GM car company? Or is it
Yes.
a different kind of company, a different kind of car? And the whole concept behind their dealerships was that they all work together, and if you work with one, you're kind of like working with every one of them. And if you have to
Mm-hmm.
come in and your salesperson isn't there, it doesn't matter. You can use somebody else because they're all part of the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not Saturn. We are a different kind of real estate company, but we don't operate that way. So essentially, we're making this video to explain what a team is, why they're out there, how it differs from a brokerage, and what does it mean to the consumer, right? So we usually end up forming teams as agents because we have more business than what we can handle on our own, and we don't really want to take that business elsewhere. We want to be able to help as many people as we possibly can. So in order to keep it within our brands, we end up forming teams. And it usually starts off with a simple hire, like an assistant or a transaction coordinator, somebody to kind of like alleviate the pressure of doing like back end paperwork and making sure that the entire process is going smoothly for the consumer and for us alike. And once that starts freeing up some time, you know, usually we end up taking on more clients because we're not consumed with all the paperwork and the back end sort of things. And inevitably, business will start to pick up again and we can't handle that. So then we hire like Lindsay here. Lindsay is a buyer specialist. The Vandale Group has two buyer specialists right now, soon to be a third. And what that does, it kind of alleviates the pressure on me to handle all buyers and sellers. So then I can specialize and kind of work with mostly sellers and listing properties for sale. And then the buyer leads that I would get off of those that would normally take up a lot of my time would go to Lindsay and Josh, and they would have more time to specialize with their needs and find them properties and keep all the business within the team. I think that's a
You're
simple.
only one man, so you can only do so much.
Yeah, and I mean, and not all teams are set up the same. I mean, some are traditional. Like we try to get that foundation set before we start getting bigger.
Mhm.
You want to have like a good foundation with your assistant, your transaction coordinators, and your admin side of things before you start getting super huge. But there are teams out there that simply just add on agents, and unfortunately, there's no like one size fits all. I mean, people start teams in many different ways. But our team is not the same as, like, let's say, the Robinson Group at EXP. It's not the same as Kate Howard, her team. I mean, we all work with different agents, and the business that we bring in is our business. It's not their business, and we don't share in the income there. So when it comes to working with agents that are on teams but at the same brokerage, think of us as individual agents. The Vandale Group is considered like one entity. So just know that if you're working with the Vandale group, that you're working with myself, Lindsay Olvera, and Josh Patrick, who is out showing homes right now. And, it's not shared amongst other EXP agents.
Even though we're all EXP, we're part of the Vandale group. There's a
That's
difference.
correct.
I think where it gets, where everyone else doesn't get it. Just because we're EXP doesn't mean we're all the same.
And sometimes it just seems that even if you have like agency paperwork signed with your clients, that they just hear EXP and they automatically assume that you're with the same team. But is that a bad thing on our part or their part? No. I mean, it's just like a lack of understanding. And
Right.
a lot of times, maybe our clients forget that we're not just Lindsay Olvera, Ryan Vandale, and Josh Patrick. We're the Vandale group, broker EXP Realty. And whenever they hear EXP Realty, they just associate us with everybody else with EXP. And then there's the other part of things where maybe the other team is not asking if they already have agency signed with somebody else. Who knows?
Right.
Just wanted to bring some clarity to that because there are several teams out there. And, just because you're working with a team that's with Rural and Rural does not make every Rural and Rural team part of the same group.
Right.
Same with every brokerage out there.
I just like I said, I think you've summed it all up. I just know that I've ran into it in my short career already, that people just don't understand it, which why would they,
You're the one that brought up this topic today. So
Yeah.
explain, what was the situation in which this came up that you thought it would be important to let people know how we work as teams?
Okay, I had I'll just give you the whole background story because that's how I am. It was like one of my first clients, and she was getting calls from an EXP agent, but not one that's part of our team. So
Okay.
she herself thought that they would know that she was working with me. Obviously, we all know as agents that that's not the case. Because we're part of a brokerage doesn't mean we all know what's going on. I don't know who Ryan talks to every day. He probably does know who I talk to most of the time because he's my team lead. But you see what I'm getting at. It's just not the same. Like other EXP agents don't know who I'm talking to, nor do who they're talking to. So it's just I explain that to her. No, hey, just because we're part of EXP doesn't mean that we all are on the same. I'm part of Ryan Vandale's team. This particular agent's part of this team, and that's the long and short of it. So that's why I thought would be a good thing to make the video, just to explain that, because I feel people don't know that that's how it works. So yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So hopefully this clarification has kind of helped out some other people that are in the same boat and like experience the same things, especially like, when you're out on the web and clicking away on different ads and different homes that you think, ooh, I want to see the inside of that, and don't realize that it's an ad. And all of a sudden you've got like 3 different agents contacting you and you're wondering why.
Yep.
So, just know that just because, we're all with EXP or Keller Williams or Rule and Rule or Mel Foster, whatever brokerage it is, we don't all work together as a collective unit. We are individual 1099 independent contractors, and some of us just happen to be teams. So Lindsay texts me and says she wants to make a video, and then I talk through the whole thing.